through. But mostly today, I want to talk about the book behind me, Jordan Stryker, and why I'm a writer. What's so good about writing? What's so good about reading? Why have a World Book Day? I hope I can answer those sorts of things and tell you why I think I've got the best job in the world. Some say I've got this very unusual background for a writer. I don't think it is, but some people find it a little odd that I am a scientist by training. Well, it started out very much as a hobby, getting away from my work on science. But soon it sort of took over. And now I tend to take an interest in science and put it into many of these books. 38 novels so far. And I think 16 of them are crime stories. No, I haven't brought all 16. But these murder stories, mostly murder stories, but crime stories, I tend to load them up with forensic science. Why? Well, because I like forensic science. I'm a scientist by training. Thrillers, 20-something, 22 so far. The latest being the 2 Jordan Stryker books. It's not true that I always put science in them, but very often there's a scientific idea behind the story, and this is true with Jordan Stryker. Jordan Stryker, you can probably guess from this picture, the front cover, has lost his right arm. That's what I call a fairly serious injury, right? And it's been replaced with a robotic or bionic arm. Bionic's a funny word. Probably you're familiar with this word bionic, but maybe not exactly how it comes about. It's actually 2 words brought together. It's biology at the beginning and it's electronic at the end. Why don't I hurt him in an explosion? Good idea. I'll have an explosion. And I did say I wanted the beginning of a thriller to be thrilling. Explosion at the beginning sounds good. I'm sure I could make something of that. Right, explosions. Amazingly, I found an explosion. The possibility of one. In the 1940s, when we were at war, we were threatening to run out of bombs. And so we said to America, can we have some of your bombs, please? Because we're running out. And they said, sure, we'll send them over in a ship called the Richard Montgomery, which is behind me. It came over in the 1940s. No problems, no accidents, until it got round that bit by East Anglia and into the Thames estuary. Then a big wind came up and blew it onto a sandbank in the Thames estuary, where in shipping circles they say it broke its back. And it's still got way over 1,000 tons of bombs on board. No British government has dared to move these bombs in case in moving them to try and make them safe, they set them off. So they just leave them. They're still there. And what would happen if those bombs went up? Well, this was taken from a scientific article. If the wreck goes up, explodes, it will be one of the biggest non-nuclear explosions ever. Every single pane of glass in Sheerness, it's calculated, will shatter. At the beginning, I have him, unfortunately, standing by his bedroom window. And he's in a place called Little Stoke, which actually was on that map that I showed, just by a gas terminal. So the gas terminal explodes as well, and he's standing by his bedroom window. In Lower Stoke, just a short distance across the fields from the gas terminal, Ben Smith was by his bedroom window. When the gasworks exploded, his house was the first to feel the power of the blast. Immediately, the roof above his head ripped away, tiles and beams came down. His window splintered and showered him with glass. He didn't even have time to cry out. He was tossed across the room along with bricks, plaster, his bed, and electronic drum kit. His head smacked sickeningly against something solid. Then he was falling because there was no longer a floor beneath his feet. The shockwave caused a massive change in air pressure. It ruptured his lungs, eardrums, and bowels. Ben knew that he was badly injured. He'd seen his right arm being torn away from his shoulder. He was aware of warm blood, lots of it, but he felt no pain. Perhaps it was so intense that his body had shut down. He had already moved on to a calmer place, yet his eyes remained open. not a good start to a series where the main character seems to be dead in the first chapter. Well, technically he is dead. I thought, well, if you still don't believe me, if you think it's all rigged, then perhaps what I ought to do is bring a bionic arm with me. A real bionic hand. And if you're looking at this and thinking, you've probably got two thoughts actually, that some tend to look at it and go, oh, that's horrible, keep it away from me, it's rather freaky. True, it is a bit freaky. And another reaction to it is, oh, can I shake his hand? When I finish playing with this, it will be assigned to someone who actually needs it, unlike me, I'm just playing with it. But, it's weird in a way. I got it from the manufacturer. It's on loan to me from a company in Scotland called Touch Bionics. Suffering after yesterday's activities. Yeah, can you hear it makes that slight whirring noise? You'll need to save up for a couple of days before you've got the money for this because it's worth £10,000. Someone near the front who's going to be quite brave then and shake my hand. I thought it might be you. Come on, stand up. Are you left-handed by any chance? Right, you are now. You've got to be left-handed for this. So both of us, I'm right-handed as well, so this feels unnatural, but here we go. Oh, hang on. I forgot. When I came into the school this morning, they said, you're going to shake someone's hand with that. Oh, health and safety, Malcolm. You've got to go through a health and safety routine, so we've got to do a health and safety routine. When it starts crushing your bones, can you tell me to stop? Fine, we've done the health and safety. If it hurts, seriously, tell me. Yeah, because it does give quite a good grip. Yeah, neither of us is doing this very naturally, are we? I can drag him from the room. I could have dragged him from the room then, but I better not. So, I'm not exaggerating wildly in the John Stryker books when I give him a rather amazing bionic hand, but it does really help that thing that I started with right at the beginning in the imagination. You can go, okay, I'm now John Stryker. I do this all the time. I may not look 14 years old, but I really am. 14 years old, I've got this amazing bionic arm. What can I do with that? Oh, there's all sorts of then adventures you could think of where having a bionic arm would be really, really good.